is LS11.
Well, good evening, one and all, and welcome to Any News LS11. George, it's been a while. We've many reasons why, because we're both busy guys, but we thought we would start the running, and we'll be back each week. I think, George, won't be now up until the end of the season, but good evening, George. How are we?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, Aaron, we will be, coming into the running, 8 games left. Hopefully, we can put together a run of streams ourselves and hit every game we can do. Like I said, busy. But good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever you're listening to. Also on my channel, it is streaming on the Bearded Peacock channel as well. Anybody who wants to go over there after you've finished, it'll be on. Catch up, watch if you want. Whatever time, so it'll be on there. We're on there live now. But Aaron, to answer your initial question, I'm okay. Thank you very much. It's the Easter weekend now. How are you?
The Easter weekend is good. It's nice to finish work and enjoy the festivities, and the football is back. That's the most important thing for me. It's time to gear ourselves up for the actual final roller coaster of the championship season 23-24. And I can't wait.
This is it, Aaron, isn't it? I mean, I know with your profession, some people may know it, some people may not. Obviously, rest of us are saying, hey, we're off till Tuesday? You're saying, hey, I'm off for a couple of weeks. You know what I mean? It's one of them things.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because I want to, but with that, I get to enjoy the football, George, and that's what we're here about. So
yes, it is. Absolutely, it is. And yeah, you're right. The games are coming thick and fast again. The international break, the final international break is done. I know that some of the lads will be disappointed, but I know they'll be raring to go and chomping at the bit to get this over the line and get us promoted. And yeah, let's see, let's wait and see what happens. I know you said you're going on Monday, of course. So hopefully we'll have already got 3 points in the bag on the weekend, it going into that game, and then on Monday we can round it off with another win against Hull. And then we've got 6 games to go. Who knows where we're going to be, when that game rolls round, the next one.
Let's talk about the here and now, George.
Yes.
Last time we spoke, I think it was after the Swansea game, which is a couple of games ago. And Leeds United have found themselves top of the championship table. A 2-0 win over Millwall a couple of weeks ago got us there. George, the question is, will Leeds hold on to first position in 8 games' time?
Well, that's $1 million question, isn't it, Aaron?
Let's get that in the comments. People get in the comments.
Yeah, get in the comments. It's, good evening to Clive, good evening to Jimbo, good evening to Eric.
Yeah.
Hope everybody's having a good time, enjoying the Easter and everything like that. And let's hope for 3 points, because initially, it's like I said, it's $1 million question. That, Aaron, is. It's $1 million question. I feel like no, we're not. I feel like we are going to hold on to the automatic positions. I don't, like we said, I think we probably said before in the streams, I don't give a damn whether we're top or second. It really doesn't matter to me. Finishing top is just a bonus. We just need to get over that line, finish second, and that's it. That's all we need to do. Look, there's a long way to go. People getting excited.
But Judge, we've got to get excited though, because given the start of the season and given how Leicester literally, 2-3 months ago were promoted by Christmas, now you look at it and think, right, Leeds are actually sitting top it's a remarkable achievement which they've done. And yes, they dropped points against Huddersfield. We know that. We won't go there because we don't need to dwell on what's happened in the past. But where we have got to and how we have got there is incredible. And the momentum is truly in Leeds United's hands.
Yeah, it really is. And before we go any further, I must say good evening, good morning, good afternoon to Paul, who's come across from my channel. Good evening, Paul. Hope you're well. But yeah, the momentum is with Leeds. I agree, Aaron. The momentum. Look, we've conceded 2 goals in 6 games. I mean, you know, we sat here like you said last. It was just after the Swansea game. We beat Swansea 4-0, and I said before we came out, I'm sure you asked me probably how many points do you see do I see Leeds getting in the next 5? I wouldn't have said, what was it? I think 13 or something like that. We've won 5 of those 6 games, and we've conceded 2 goals. Like you said, the way we're
why can't Leeds? So my question here is, George, why can't Leeds go and win the league?
Because it's Leeds, isn't it? That's the only reason why.
Because it's Leeds.
Because I spoke to Ant who's a Leicester City fan. He's got his own channel. We did a preview before the Leicester City game at Ellen Road. And I was saying to him, I think you're up. I think this is it. You've done it. And he's saying to me, oh, no, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. Because he said, because it's my team. Because he always felt like his team was going to, I mean, they've bottled it. Well, they're looking like they're doing that. But they didn't look like it to me and to anybody else watching now. And they looked like they were going straight for the title. But like you said, for us to hunt down Leicester like they have done and just keep going and going and going and relentlessly, not blowing away teams, but finding a way to win. And that's the only thing we need to do. And
But the question is, George, you can't give it's because it's Leeds as an excuse that they can't win the league. You've got to give me some real reason as to why. Because what have you not seen what you don't like? Because for what I've seen, being in the Cop, watching on Sky, blah, 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 I think, do you know what? This is pretty good. And I can't say that we will not finish top because I actually genuinely do think we will win the league now. I genuinely do think that. And I am the negative Nelly, George, out of all of us who do this show. I am the negative Nelly. You know that.
Yeah.
For me to say, yes, I was one of those back in September when it was bloody bonkers and disastrous and we drew and we were crap, you know. And I actually said, fuck out. I was in that camp. But you know what? For us to get to where we are now, to be in with a shot of winning the effing league, I think we'll do it. We've got everything to believe that we can do it, George. We're not conceded. The defense is rock solid. We're firing up front. You know, Nonto, Rutter, Bamford to an extent. You know, we've got Dan James, and I know he had a disaster with Wales midweek, but I think we're going to win the fucking league, George. And I'm sorry for swearing.
No, you do right. You do right. I mean, I agree, and I agree. Only like the only thing is.
Tell me why we're not. Tell me why we're not.
The only thing in mind, like I agree to an extent with you saying that we are going to win the league, but it's just something in my mind saying, look, we're going to mess it up somewhere. We're unbeaten in 12 games now. We just need to keep going, game after game. It's Watford next.
I get that.
Do that, George, but it just to me, Aaron, it just. But honestly, looking at it as a game and looking at every single game tomorrow night when it comes on, when kickoff goes 8 o'clock, I'll be sat there calm. I'll be thinking, we've got this. We're gonna win the game here. In any stage of this run, for a long time now, I haven't felt under any pressure that Leeds aren't going to win the league, but it's just something, or win a game of football, sorry. It's just something saying to me, Aaron, that.
But what?
I'm not saying we're not going to win. I'm not saying that we're not going to get promoted. I'm just sort of, something to me is sort of saying we're going to mess up somewhere along the way. And it's so close that, you know, these teams are going to get something's going to. I mean, I would love it. Everybody would if we could go 8 games unbeaten and 8 winning streak and win the league. But there's just something saying to me, and hope I'm wrong. I don't think it'll be tomorrow. I don't think it'll be Monday. But do you actually look at the games coming up, Darren? They're not that hard. They're not that hard.
They're not. No, but listen, you can't say that every game is winnable in the championship because you can't. If you did that,
this is what I mean. This is what I mean. Yeah.
But let's look at the fixtures for Leeds, George. So for Leeds' fixtures, so over the Easter weekend, we have Watford tomorrow evening, number 1, away. Then we play Hull on Easter Monday. I think that's the trickier of the 2 games which we've got coming up, because I think Hull have got a real momentum. They're aiming for the top 6 as well. Then we've got Coventry away, Sunderland at home. I'm not too fussed about Coventry. They don't worry me because I think we've got a little bit more quality than them. Sunderland at home, home record, should be okay. Blackburn mid-table, nothing to play for. Sunderland won't make the playoffs. Coventry won't make the playoffs. Hull potentially in that top 6. Middlesbrough, I'm afraid, have dropped out. QPR, well, they're fighting for the lives, and then Southampton at home is just going to be a massive piss up, regardless of what happens, and it's going to be fantastic. I will be in the Weatherspoons, Beckett's Bank on the 4th of May at 8:30 a.m. with a pint of something and a big belly buster breakfast together.
Wow, well, you heard that, everybody get down there. 8:30 on the 4th of May.
Yes, why not?
That's how it might even buy you a pint. I don't know. Who knows?
that bloody, what's it called? That thing on Facebook, the Weatherspoons game.
Oh, yes.
I might get on that. Why not? It'd be good fun.
Yeah,
but listen, the momentum for Leeds, George, is there. I think of all the fixtures which we've got, I think we've got a favourable run in when you compare them to others. Our home form is phenomenal. I think Hull is probably the trickier of the run-in because obviously they've got something to fight for. The rest of them have got nothing, I'm afraid, except for QPR, who are pushing for safety. And then the last game of the season, God knows what's going to happen. So, listen, I think those fixtures are favourable for Leeds. And I don't see us losing any. I really don't. I think we're going to carry this momentum all the way through because they've worked so hard to get there. I don't think Daniel Farke's going to let any standards drop. I think he manages games well and he will grind out results. And it's something which we haven't done in a long, long time. I think this squad, George, and I'm saying this now because, I'm a big fan of Bielsa, but in Bielsa's second season, I think there's more consistency now with this squad. And I think they're better than what got promoted in 2019-20.
Oh, yeah, they're 100 times better than that team. They really are. And like you said, the momentum is with Leeds. But Mally makes a great point about injuries. Now, injuries are...
Let's have a look. I'm going to jump in some of the comments after, but let's have a look at this.
That's potentially the thing that might trip us up. And this is what I'm saying. I hope I'm wrong because we want Leeds, and we can easily... If we can take the pressure, which I think we can, I do feel like we're gonna go unbeaten in these 8 games. But just because it's so close, I do think that maybe one of the Ipswich or Leicester will pip us to top. I think we're going to get
Ipswich.
Maybe they're only a point behind us.
Oh, I really do. I don't want to listen. If we were not in the position where we were, I'd be championing Ipswich to go and win the bloody league. I really would, because their season has been phenomenal for where they've been. And they do need a lot of credit because everybody thought, they'll fall away in September. They'll fall away in December. They'll fall away after Christmas. They can't keep it up. They really have. Have fair play to them because, it's a fairy tale kind of story for them, and I hope us and them get up. I really do. It would be great.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. I feel like Ipswich. I think Ipswich are going to win it. I do, and I think that. Yeah, and I think that. Yes. Oh, but look, it's so close, Aaron. It might be on goal difference at the end of the day, or a point. It might be a point.
It's a lot better than theirs.
It's not that much now. They beat Wednesday 6-0, so they
got George.
they. But no, look, it might be a point or two. Anybody in the comments there want to discuss it, but I do feel like Ipswich, they're just on a roll. We are as well, and I do think it'll be Leeds and Ipswich who do go on to get promoted. I think Leicester will be disappointed and end up in the playoffs. But it'll be only a couple of points, if that, in it. It's so close. It's so close. It's very hard to call. And I think we're going to go unbeaten. I do think we'll win the majority of those 8 games, if not all of them. But it's so close, and it's been such an amazing race between the 3 teams. Southampton have dropped off slightly, but they'll fancy the chances as well still.
Yeah.
It's such an amazing race. And I love this team. I think it's fabulous. I think there's so much strength in the team at the back, in the middle, and up front. It's just all round. It's brilliant. And I think we don't blow away teams. We just do it. We just get those goals. And that Millwall game was proof of it. They threw it at us that second half. They played better. They played all right. But we just got the job done with that second goal, and that was all we needed. I'm not worried about tomorrow's game. I think Watford are extremely poor. I think Eric might have made a point further up. I think they've only won 2 of the last 10 games at home, or 2 points at home in the last 10. I think they've won 5 games at home all season. Not since November have they won a game at Vicarage Road.
Watford have done what Watford do, and Eric's right there. Watford do what Watford do. They think, oh, we can get in the top 6. Then they have a wobble. Then they sack the manager, and then they're just dreadful. I'm not too concerned about Watford. They've got awful owners down there who clearly don't know how to run a football club because they're just doing nothing. I'm not concerned about them whatsoever. I can see Leeds going down and absolutely destroying them. I really can. 4-5-0.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to agree, Aaron. The only one that worries me slightly, well, the couple that worry me maybe is Emmanuel Dennis, who I think on his day can do it, and Espria, the Colombian lad, who on his day again is difficult. But I watched their game against Birmingham. They won, but it was such a poor match, and there was no quality.
Yeah. I just want to jump in into some of the comments because there's loads coming in. Do keep the coming in. And guess what? We do read them, don't we, George? We do read them after the show.
And
if we don't read them out. So we do read them.
And look, Aaron, good evening to Richard, who is a regular on my channel. Richard, a good evening to you, mate. Hope you're well. Check out the preview. There's a preview on my channel that went up today for the Watford games. Anybody listening, not just Richard, of course. Go and have a look at that if you want to, and after the stream, not forcing anybody to.
Okay, let's have a look at some of these comments then, which have been coming in. I'm just going to quick fire them, see if you agree with some of them, George. It's in our hands, says Eric Papa. It's as simple as that. Paul Sky, high team confidence. Jimbo, at least we're mathematically safe from relegation.
Yes, true. And that's one way to look at it, isn't it?
Yeah, so we can't be relegated. I think some channel did at the beginning of this season actually tip us to be relegated. I'm sure I've seen a clip somewhere of that. Let's have a look at John. Good evening. John says, just need top 2. Don't want the playoffs. Nope. John also says, if I can settle squad from start, not 2 goalies on the bench and players wanting to leave, it's outstanding where we are. Let's have a look. Oh, what about this, George? Leicester's financial fair play issues could be a distraction. It's Ipswich who won't go away. George, we haven't really discussed about Leicester and financial fair play. I think, I'll give you my opinion and then ask for yours. I don't think the EFL will do anything this season. I don't think the Premier League will do anything this season in regards to a points deduction. I think it will be continued over to next season because I think it's too late. Plus, there'll be challenges, etc. But it just shows that the football pyramid and the football financial fair play system is broken, because if you can break a rule in the Premier League, you can clearly get away with it in the EFL and vice versa. So the Premier League and the EFL need to sort this out between themselves so that it's consistent. But I can't see them being deducted any points. What do you think?
Well, no, they can't. They simply can't. It'll have to come next season, Aaron, simply because it's an issue between them and the Premier League, not an issue between them and the EFL. So it has to happen. If it's going to happen, it'll happen next season if they go up. Or maybe it'll just be a continuous thing until they do eventually go up if they don't this time. And then they'll hit them with a points deduction. They might get a fine this time, but they can't do anything about it. It's an issue between Leicester City and the Premier League, not Leicester City and the EFL. So it won't make a difference to anything this season. They can go up, they can win the thing. And to me, that's not an issue because we can still beat them on points. We're more than good enough to beat them on points. Hey, look, we beat them twice, and it wasn't that hard, was it? So look, we can beat them on points, and also, there is a point which I know would only be probably certain fans saying this. You only won it. You only got promoted because we got a points deduction, and that might be something that they can't say that. If we beat them, we get more points than them. We were better over the whole season. I believe we're better than them. I've said it all season. I believe we're the best team in the league. Does that mean I think we're going to win it? No. Does it mean we could? I think we could win it. Of course. I think we're the best in the league.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like what I've just said, and Clive says it shouldn't matter what division. It's stupid the Premier League work differently. It should just be one clear rule, and it should be the same points deduction. We know that in the Premier League, if you look at the points deductions which have happened there, Forest have been deducted points, but they'll get it probably overturned because they'll take them to court. There's obviously the Everton one. They've had their points deduction slashed. They gained more back. Chelsea and Man City will never be charged by the EPL because, they've got a country behind them. They don't need to. They can do what they want, basically. So, I think our finances, Jimbo, get released end of April, mid-April.
Probably. It's end of the financial year, isn't it?
So and they won't come on. If you really want to, you can, because I must admit, I'm pretty sad. I've done it myself. I've looked on Company's House and looked at the league accounts because I was bored one night. So, you can go and have a look, but, just wait for Phil here to tell you what's going on.
You know what I mean? But if you do find yourself on a loose end, that is an option, isn't it?
I won't worry about it. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And John says, no, I forgot that points will be deducted on the Foxes. Madness, all three teams with us last season all got fined by the Premier League. It is, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Well, here and now can't change anything, can we, George?
No, exactly. We're not going to change it. They did, by the look of it, all three of them. Yeah, they did cheat, John. But like I say, it's gone now. We're all, some of us in the championship. We're doing well.
We could have.
Exactly. It could come out. Hopefully, it doesn't. That Leeds United have fiddled.
I can tell you one thing though, George. If we've broken any bloody rule, I can guarantee they will deduct us points. The EFL. Probably. They will want. We are the cash cow. For the
well, yeah. I mean, look at the tip. Look at the stats of everything. They cash in on Leeds. Of course they do. Look how many times we've been saying it just off before we come on. We're playing at 8:00 every single on both of these games. Friday at Watford and Monday at home to Hull. It's because they want to put us on the telly. Sky know what they're doing. They know that people want to come and watch and tune into Leeds, probably to watch and hope that we lose the game. But there we go. Although there are Leeds fans all over the place, like Colin has pointed out a bit further up the comments there. Good evening to Colin. I believe you've come from my channel as well, and also a bit further up. I can't go up the comments. Oh, yes, I can actually.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yes, I can. Enzio. Yes, Enzio. Good evening, Enzio. It looks like you've come also from my channel, so good to see you my friend.
Excellent.
Yes.
Right. So listen, there's a lot of things going on in the background. Let's talk about Leeds. And I just want to touch on Wales. Midweek defeat, heartbreakingly. They didn't qualify for the Euros. I was quite interested in this, George. I must admit, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the other boring one against Belgium against England. I was quite not interested. I was more interested in watching Wales. Disappointing, really, for the Welsh contingency and those contingents not to get to Germany. I'm a bit disappointed for them because I'd have quite liked to watch them.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm disappointed as well, Aaron, because of our lads in the team. But like I said before, I do believe that they'll want some sort of good feeling, some sort of good end to the season. I think it'll make them even more determined than ever, really, to go and finish this job off with Leeds, to celebrate with Leeds and get them in the Premier League. And I believe it's probably made them that bit more hungrier to see it over the line. I am disappointed for them. I didn't watch the game, but
it was very open, George, I must admit. And I think Rodon, as what John said there, he had Lewandowski in his pocket. He was brilliant, was Rodon. As was Ethan Ampadu. He needs a special mention as well because he literally ran his socks off for the whole 120 odd minutes for whatever he played. He was brilliant. And Dan James as well, a bit gutted for him missing the penalty, but it's 50-50 when you're taking a penalty kick. It happens, and that's football. That's why we love the sport.
Look, yeah, exactly. He had the knackers to go up and take it. He knew that if he missed, they'd lost. So it like you said, it was 50-50 chance. Did the keeper save it, or did he?
Keeper saved it. Yeah, he saved it.
So Chesney saved it. Yeah, it's 50-50. I'm sure he won't let it, get to him too much. And like I said, I think all the boys, the four of them, will be a little bit more hungrier just to get that over the line and see it through, because they don't want double disappointment, do they? So they'll want to see it through. But fair play to Wales. They did well. They got through that first one over Finland. Obviously, commiserations to Glenn as well, because he was playing in that game. But then they go through to Poland. And I think everybody was probably expecting Wales to win that game, actually. But
yeah, they were, and I was kind of expecting Wales to do it, but they just couldn't get over the line. Yeah. And do you know what? That is fair play to Poland. They got through. Even I can't say fair play because it was 5-4 on penalties. It wasn't really.
Well, it was a 0-0 draw, wasn't it?
0-0 draw.
Pens, but
it's
the history books say a win.
They do, and I don't think Poland will be any danger at this year's Euros. I can tell you that now.
Absolutely, probably not. No.
Should we have a quick run through of all the injuries? Let's put a bit of doom and gloom on it all now, because we're all quite happy that Leeds are doing well. Doom and gloom on injury front. Ruter has had an injury. He's going to be out for the next game, I believe, isn't he? For a couple of weeks, we think. Is that right, George, from Daniel Clark's presser?
He says he's going to be out for a few games.
Yes.
No. What I heard is Ruter is hopeful. I didn't listen to it, actually, but anybody in the comments that did, I thought he said something along the lines of Ruter might play some minutes on Friday. I don't think he will. I think we won't see him. I do think, unfortunately, Arron, mate, he's going to put Peru in the number 10 role, and I wish he wouldn't. I wish he'd probably abstain from that and maybe put Chris Somerville in, which would be good.
So let's say Rutter's not available. Strout's obviously out for the season, says Clive, which we kind of knew that. And we'll be lucky if we see Stuart Dallas having a couple of minutes towards the back end of the Southampton.
Who's Stuart Dallas?
You know who he is. He's a legend. Legend.
Forgotten.
He will get, I guarantee it, he will get 2 minutes on the final game of the season.
Probably. I hope he does. Yeah, it'd be great to see him, particularly if we've, at that stage, got promotion all set up. So hopefully, we see him because it'd be nice because he's out of contract, isn't he, Arron? So
there's a few players who are out of contracts. I did want to touch on those.
Yeah. So I don't think he's gonna sign again. I think the if he can play any in the 8 games, then that'll probably be his last.
I don't know. Yeah, he probably will, and I think that'll be with that. So Rutter injury, obviously standout player for us so far this season. He's a big miss, isn't he, George? Even if he's not on for the full duration of Friday or Monday, he's a big miss for us, isn't he?
Oh, he really is. I mean, look, he's been playing with a hernia. Basically, the last few weeks or months.
Nasty things.
Yeah, I mean, I won't, yes, I don't know personally that pain, but I imagine it is not nice. And yeah, he obviously needed that, but he's still, like you said, a big miss because he's been fantastic. Whether he's setting up or scoring goals, he's just always a presence in there that seems to worry the defenders. He can always. His strength on the ball, which was shown again in that goal, that second goal for Dan James in the latest game against Millwall, where he's not, the ball's not even with him, but he's like muscling the defender, get away from the ball, gets his foot on it, gets to the byline, crosses it in, and Dan James finishes it off. He's a really integral part of this team. Of course, he'll be missed, but we've got quality where we haven't had otherwise in other seasons to come straight in, Arron, and players that can just take up that mantle even for a game or two, and then just Georgie hopefully comes back in as soon as he can and starts putting in a good performance. But if that's him playing with a hernia and in some pain, we'll have him with no pain, hopefully. Yeah. And that hopefully will be a lot better than he's been doing, which has been good.
So you're telling me you put Piroa in the 10 position. I just want to throw a comment here, which John says, love to see Joseph in the number 10 if Rutter is out, not Piroa. Anthony James of the wings as Willie is out as well. What do you think to that then? Because I'd actually quite to see that. Matteo, he scored his first goal for the Spanish under-21s, didn't he? Matteo Joseph. Over the last week or so, hasn't he? So what about that one? Because I think he's a bit of an underdog, and I don't think we're giving enough credit to Matteo Joseph, from the impact he's had for us with the limited amount of time that he's had on the pitch.
Yeah, see, look, I've been banging the drum, Arron, for Matteo Joseph to be playing a lot more minutes for quite some time now.
But you understand, the other players who are more experienced are better. You're hypothetically saying, they are better than him. But go on. Sorry, I was interrupting you.
Look, no, it's fine, Arron. I believe that Matteo Joseph is ready, more than ready for this division. And I know some people were saying I was watching him around Christmas, and getting minutes here and there, and people were saying I was calling for him to start, and people were saying, no, why? He's not good enough, and this and the other. They must have been watching a different thing to me, because every single time I've seen him play, he's physical, he's strong, he can keep the ball. Look at the 2 goals at Chelsea he scored. And then what more does he have to do? I know we lost that game, but it's up against the Premier League opposition. I know they were in a poor run or whatever, poor way. They're still playing up against the Premier League team at Stamford Bridge away. He scored 2 goals. What more do you want him to do? What else does he have to do to get a chance? He scored a goal for his country at youth level the other day. What more does he have to do? He's scoring goals. Well, he scored those 2 goals.
George, who would you drop, though? Because I'm a big fan of Patrick Bamford,
yes.
And I know he's played at the Madame, but his press is incredible. His work off the ball, which goes a lot unnoticed when you're watching it on TV, but actually when you're in the ground, you can see him constantly running into the ground, to try and start the press. With Joseph, it's too risky to start him when you've got somebody who knows what to do there and can do it quite well.
Well, yeah, I agree. Yeah,
like can't drop him. It's impossible to drop Bamford.
No, it is. It's impossible at this moment. I do believe Bamford is is integral now to the
and can I just add as well, George? And I'm sorry to interrupt again, but where are the Bamford haters these days?
Well,
where are they all now?
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, but just before, good evening to Kevin, of course, and to Arron, of course. He says good evening to Arron.
Oh yes,
and on there as well. Good evening to Kevin, and and thank you for the kind comments, and Zio as well further up. Yes, I'm glad you enjoyed the channel. Yeah. Yes, you do that, Arron. But yes, look, you can't drop Bamford. You can't, because he's so integral to the way that Leeds are at this current time. But I do think that Joseph does have a position to play. Maybe try him in the 10, but for me, maybe it's even a pointless discussing. It's a moot point really discussing it, because you said I wanted to see Pirot at 10. I don't want to see Pirot at 10. I want to see Chris Somerville at 10. I would like to see Pirot drop because, well, he isn't in the team, is he? And he just doesn't offer the same. I would have even Joseph at 10 before I would have Pirot. But we know that Fark seems to like that. And you know what it's going to be when we line up at 7, when we see the team at 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. It's going to be Pirot, the front four of probably Cree, Pirot, James, and Bamford. And then everybody will say, oh, no, Pirot. Oh, where's Joseph? But, yeah, you've got to understand, Joseph is still pretty raw to come into this team at this level. But for me, like I've said, he looks ready to come into this level and contribute something good.
But maybe towards the back end of the season, I think, because I think what Leeds need to do now is, as we've said earlier up, I think, we had a comment saying it's in our own hands. We've got to get over the line. I think what I would like to see Fark do is, if we go, let's hypothetically say 2-0 up in, I don't know, 55 minutes. Utilize the bench then, because I think what we have noticed with Daniel Farke, this is my only criticism of him, is that he will hold on to around 70 to the 78th minute and he'll start making changes. I think just try and utilize that bench more, give them a little bit of experience and trust those younger players like Joseph to come on and just get us over the line, because we need those big players like Dan James. I think he's been brilliant. Bamford, Ampadu, Rodon, Gray, the list goes on. We need to kind of protect those players, especially with the Easter period, which is historically we've always struggled over Easter of Leeds. I think we just need to really, really utilize the squad depth a little bit more. In my opinion, that's the only thing.
Yeah, but like you said, when we get the opportunity to, when we're almost comfortable in games to do that. But I mean, Mally says, yeah, if I want to play Joseph, put Bamford in the 10. It's something that he hasn't tried, isn't it? But yeah, look,
but it's too risky.
Yeah, no, he won't do that. And I agree that Bamford will start and probably needs to start. But I would like to see Joseph, just like you, Aaron, utilize the bench a little bit more, utilize these younger lads, give them a little bit more time on the pitch, even the likes of Yol Perot, because I've seen further up here, Maka, he says that, Perot must start. So, there's people still out there that believe in Perot, believe Perot is a good player. And let's be honest, Perot still got 11 goals this season, but I just don't see he's playing him in his wrong position. He doesn't really fit. When he's played at 9, for me, hasn't really impressed so much. So where does he really fit into this team? I believe Perot would probably maybe suit going in and playing as a pair, but you just don't see that much anymore.
No. Really. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, there's a lot to kind of get over. I think we've just got to navigate through the Easter weekend. Obviously, Good Friday tomorrow. Don't forget to have your fish and chips and eat your fish. Don't eat your meat on Good Friday.
Yes, it's all about fish, isn't it, Arron?
It's all about fish. Yes.
It's all about eating fish.
Yes.
And all this kind of thing. Yeah,
I'll be down the Bearded Sailor tomorrow for my fish and chip lunch.
Go and see Arron at the Bearded Sailor, everybody. If he's,
yes, I have. It's very, very nice. Very, very nice. I recommend it.
Is it
better than the Weatherby Whaler? Yeah.
Hopefully the weather's good. Will you sit inside or outside?
It's a takeaway. The Weatherby Whaler does a sit down if you want. That's quite nice. But I'll be having the Bearded Sailor. I recommend that. It's a little show. We're not sponsored by them, by the way. I just like their fish and chips. Anyway,
yeah, get on to them.
Let me. Oh God. Anyway, let me have a little look here. Then a couple more comments because there's loads coming, literally hundreds coming in, which is great. 108 live viewers, George, as well. Fantastic for us.
Good evening.
Good evening, all 108 of you. Thank you very much. Yes, Big Mally, we will be back every week. Don't you worry. We're back together for the running. Let me have a look. So, Benjani, good evening. Watford tomorrow, and we win the league, in my opinion. Southampton will beat Leicester, and I fully believe the financial fair play stuff has got them wound up. Let's have another look here at a couple more. There's loads. There's so many. Hi, Arron. The new Barnet is looking good. Happy with it. The what? I don't know what's he on about there. Hello, Dale Peters.
Hello to Dale. Dale, again, come from my channel. Good evening, Dale. Arron, have you had a haircut?
I have, yes. I went to go see Phil last week.
Yeah, well, that's what he's talking about, isn't
he?
Right. Your new cut.
It's just the same.
Are you happy with it?
Yeah, it's all right. It does what it says. I'm losing the hair, not gaining it, but I'm happy with what I've got. Anyway.
I could cut some off for you and send it in the post, Arron, if you like.
Thank you.
But yes, Phil's a good barber. Good evening to Phil, if he's listening or watching. I hope he's having a good night.
We've given quite a lot. Get quite a lot of shout outs here. Let's have a look here. Can we mention, says John, and we will, because this is a show for the fans. Can we mention that midfield of Kamara and Gruev? So they are both so important to how we play, not just about the forwards. These two have been immense. Okay, then, George. John's thrown that in. Let's discuss. Kamara and Gruev. Are you happy with them?
Absolutely delighted, Arron. The unfortunate thing is that Fark was talking yesterday about Ilya Gruev being a little bit injured. He's got a little bit of a knock. I don't know whether he'll be fit enough for Watford. But he's been absolutely fantastic. Really struggled early on, didn't he? But he's really come good now. Looks so composed on the ball. I think Glenn Kamara is a funny one because I love Glenn Kamara. He's such another composed player. Probably too good for this league. Is he good enough for the Premier League? That's to be decided. But I do really like him at this level. But one thing I would say about the two of them I've noticed is Glenn seems to be a little bit more with the first touch, a little not as composed. But Gruev, for me, just seems to be completely composed. He can just take the ball down, pick out a pass, do the simple things right. Whereas Glenn Kamara sometimes looks a little bit like, I always have a little bit of heart attacks. I think, he's lost the ball in a dangerous position. But then he does seem to recover it really well as well, to be fair to him. And he has some really nice link-up play, which we don't really tend to see Gruev do. I think Kamara just knits the play together a little bit more and links up attacks. He gets forward a bit more than Gruev. But Gruev knows his job. And it's almost like Calvin Phillips, like he's been taking coaching courses off him because he's got that drop in between Ampadu and Rodon, clean anything up, start attacks if you want to by passing it along to Glenn or whatever, and that's what he does. He's not fancy. He just does the basic things right, and that's what you've got to do. Hey, I'd love for him to score. I'd love for either of those lads to start banging in a couple of goals. That would be excellent.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think his defensive work, Gruev, is brilliant. And I think you're right. Since the departure of Calvin, we haven't really found somebody to sit in that mould. And I think we've got Gruev, who is Gruev is a class player, lads. Make him captain when Cooper goes. grew a proper footballer, says Eric. There's literally the love for him is great, but I agree with you. Gruev, for me, is fantastic, a real standout defensive midfielder. And and Kamara as well. He does the little things as well. He does that he'll find a little gap and pass it through. He's very fluid with his passing, would be the best way to describe it. And it's brilliant. But yeah, them two were a fantastic pair. And I hope we see them in the Premier League, because I think they will continue getting better and better. And that's what John says. I just want to touch on that. He does the basics right. Very batty like Kamara, like Dakar. So silky would be a good way to describe it. Fluid and silky would be.
He is, and I think Gruev occasionally has like a Hollywood pass in him, but I think Glenn Kamara takes a few more chances maybe than Gruev on the ball, looks for passes. Sometimes it doesn't work out, sometimes it does. But and like Clive says, he's very strong on the ball. Even when he messes up and loses it, he will get it back pretty quickly. He's a very strong signing. And like I said, we have seen a little bit of time where he does go forward and get joins in with like Somerville or whatever. Would like to see him get a goal, to be honest with you. It
will come.
Hopefully.
I just want to touch on this one, because I think this is important now that we do start to decide and discuss what happens when our certain captain goes. But there are a few players who are out of contract. I just want to touch on the loan players first of all, George. Connor Roberts, Joe Rodon, Jadon Anthony. Out of the three, who's top of the list to stay for Leeds?
It's got to be Roberts. Sorry, it's got to be Rodon. It's got to be Rodon, mate. I was going to, in my mind, I was thinking Rodon, but then I said Roberts. But yeah,
you were thinking Tyler Roberts, weren't you? You were thinking Tyler Roberts.
Hey, look, I can't. Yeah, you never know, Tyler. Come back, Tyler. We need you. No, it's got to be Rodon, hasn't it? It's got to be Rodon, Arron. It really has. Rodon, but closely followed by Roberts, because I think Roberts has made a real impact in the time that he's come. Look, he's assisted that goal at Huddersfield, which was important at the, and then he scored that goal at Leicester, which got us back level, which started the comeback. So he's been very good. Not played that many minutes, but he has obviously been important outside of the pitch as well, I think. But it's not even a question. It has to be Joe Rodon. It has to be. He has to be the first man signed up. Even, I mean, people would discuss if we don't get promoted and will he stay? Will probably not. But it's a question that we have to get promoted this time. We have to, because if we don't, the squad will probably get picked apart more so than it did last season. So it's so important that we get promoted, that we win in promotion into the Premier League. Joe Rodon needs to be signed up straight away.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'd make a case for both of them to say Joe Rodon number one. Roberts, I think, has had to say, I completely agree. Great impact. Jadon Anthony, I feel a bit. I think he's been a little bit unlucky just because of the quality around him. And I think there's a comment here. Yeah, Ben Jones says, I keep them all, to be honest. Anthony has just been unlucky because others in his position have been phenomenal, and they have. So it's a little bit like that. It's just see how we go. And then Clive says, and so I'll go back. Of the four which are out of contract, George, contract renewals, those discussions should have started if they were to stay on. The four which are out of contract are Jamie Shackleton, Liam Cooper, Sam Byram, and Stuart Dallas. Is there a case to offer any extensions for those four?
Well, just before I get into that, and just a note on Jadon Anthony, who I think, like you said, has been very unlucky, but I think he's shown quality. He's shown the quality that he has in bursts. Obviously, got his own one and only goal against Watford. Can he go and score again against them? Hopefully. But yeah, he's shown what he can do in bursts. He's been unlucky because the quality has been really, really good, and also obviously he's had personal issues as well, which is obviously probably played on his mind for the way he's been on the pitch. So
Yeah.
I hope that he stays and gets another opportunity, particularly if we get in the Premier League. But going to your question now,
bearing in mind, George, and let me just throw this in, because there's going to be a lot of, obviously we've got a lot of players out on loan. That needs to be resolved, and I think that will be resolved over the summer.
Yeah.
I think I can see one or two maybe coming back into the squad.
Yes.
But I think we'll discuss that at another time, because we don't really like those who are out on loan. But of the four, George, which ones? How many would you give? A 1 year extension to, or would you say goodbye?
Out of any of them, I'd probably.
I know what's coming. I know exactly what's coming.
Well, I mean, maybe, but no. I mean, look, out of the four of them, I'd probably give Byram, if any of them, another go. But truthfully, Arron, I'd probably just bin them all. Actually, at this stage, probably. I think Byram has really given a good option when he's been available, but he's been injured most of the time. But I think he's done all right when he's been available. He knows the league. He's a strong player at this division, knows far well. That's probably why he came in. But he's too injury prone, and the rest of them. Dallas has said, hasn't he, over the last week or so, that the priority would be to stay at Leeds, but he doesn't know what's going to happen. For me, if Dallas had stayed fit all the time, he would have been well in the squad. But as he is, he's what, 30, 31, maybe even 32, Dallas now.
Dallas is 32, yeah. Right.
I mean, I'd just say, unfortunately, you were out injured for a long period of time. We need to let you go. Cooper, let him go. And Shackleton, let him go. Jamie Shackleton offers absolutely nothing to the squad or to the team at all. So anybody in the comments disagree with me if you want to, and give me your thoughts. But what do you think of Shackleton, Arron? Because I think he offers absolutely zero.
It's a hard one, because there's clearly things which have been going on in the background which people don't know about. I don't know either. Nobody, in the know will tell you what's gone on with him this season. It's a difficult one, because number one, I can't see him getting in the team. So he hasn't had any real opportunities. Archie Gray's been at right back, who's been brilliant. You've now got Connor Roberts in there. You can't put him on where do you put him? It's the same with Charlie Cresswell. Where do you put them? You can't play everybody. I think Jamie Shackleton, I completely agree. He hasn't really given anything this season. But yeah, he tries but often fails, says Big Man. I completely agree. But it's a tough one, because I don't really know where he fits. I expected him in January to potentially go out on loan. That's what I actually thought, along with Charlie Cresswell. I think, do you know what? They'll go out and get some minutes. I don't know where you see him. I think Stuart Dallas, I can't see him giving him another contract. I really can't, because of his age and his injury. It was a real career-ending injury which he had.
Basically, yeah.
And Byram, I'd happily give him another shot. But again, he's injury-prone, George. I think when we get promoted into the Premier League, left back is still an issue, and it's been an issue for the past bloody 10 years since bloody Charlie Taylor left. It's still an issue for us. So I don't know. We still need better quality in there. I think Junior Firpo's done okay, because we're playing at his level. Let's be honest. I'm not going to say he's going to tear the Premier League apart again, because he'll probably cause many, many issues and concede many, many goals, and it'll be his fault. But I do think we need to have better quality. But Byram has done okay. I'm not going to say that he's lit the championship up, because he hasn't. He's just done a solid job. And Liam Cooper, I'm a massive Liam Cooper fan. I can't see him getting back in this side. I would love to see him have just one more deal, another year, not just to keep a bench warm, but just to have the presence around the club. and then he'll go. But I think he'll probably go at the end of the season. I can see Ayling's not going to come back. Cooper's not going to come back. Dallas isn't going to come back. Leeds United, for God's sake, I know that I don't know if anybody's listening from the club, but please, for the love of God, give those three a proper send-off. Give all three a testimonial. Say thank you. Get Bielsa back. Let him manage them. Get Pablo. Get the gang back. I will buy George a seat for that testimonial.
Yeah, please do it, Leeds. I'll get a free ticket to a match.
You would get, yeah. Do you know what? I'd even have a word with Ryan and get us in the press box for that. I'd say, come on, we need to do that. But yeah, listen, we need that to happen, Leeds United. So please tag him in it. Get it sorted. You haven't got long, because Leeds will be digging up that turf come the 4th of May, either with a pitch invasion or they'll be ripping it up for Premier League. There we go.
Yeah, well, that's it. I think. Yeah, look, I think, yeah, give them what you want after they go, but particularly if we get in the Premier League, those guys are getting nowhere near the squad, and we need to beef it out with better quality, basically, and that's it. That's all there is. They're not good quality for the Premier League anymore. We've seen that when we got relegated. And Cooper played a bit of time in that game, in that season, didn't he? So hasn't had a lot of game time, and he doesn't need it. Like you said, he's a good presence around the club. He's 30. He'll be 32 come the start of next season, I think. Still got game time in him, so he needs to probably go there and then come back, maybe if he wants to do some kind of coaching, etc. Come back when he's finished his career. But for the betterment of his career, I know he would want to stay at Leeds, but even he would admit probably that his time is basically done. Like Ayling, he probably didn't want to leave Leeds, but he understood that he isn't going to get game time. He isn't of the age to retire and just sit on the bench and get the odd minute here and there. And he needs to go and play football for a bit. So I think Cooper reluctantly will probably agree and take a deal somewhere else at the end of the season. Because why would you give him another? What is the idea behind giving him a new contract?
For me, it's just that the leadership, George. There's a lot of leadership qualities.
But he's not playing. He ain't playing. He's on the bench.
Let me finish. He is on the bench, but in the dressing room, he was the first one when Leeds got relegated last season, and it's very well known. The quote is flying around social media. He was the first one to say, if you don't fucking want to be here, you know where the door is. That kind of, whatever the saying is. He was the first person to say that. He's stayed with the club. You need that leadership. You need that captain. You need that captain there. And yeah, I just think that presence around the dressing room is important. Being relegated with him will have hurted. There's lots of joys of being promoted as well. He's been there. He knows the score. He knows how heavy the badge is. And I think that is the hardest thing, especially when we do get promoted, George. And as you can see, I'm using the present tense,
yes.
The present and the future tense, sorry. When we do get promoted, we need a little bit more quality in the squad. And I think he will help those new recruits by understanding the weight of the badge, because Leeds United's badge is the heaviest, in my opinion.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, that's all well and good, but at some point you have to say, "See you later." He can't be hanging around when he's.
Oh no.
Exactly. Although maybe he can, obviously in a different way, like the great players do. In the past, they still hang around the club. I'm sure that's what he will do. But he
will go, George. In my opinion, I think my honest opinion here is
he has to play football. He hasn't finished his career yet. He won't be happy about sitting on the bench. It'll hurt him sitting on the bench.
Oh yeah,
he loves the club. It's great. Like MZO says, he does a great deal off the field as well to represent the club. He's a great captain. I've always said he's a great ambassador for the club.
Capture this.
Yes, capture it, because he's a great ambassador for the club. He's a great captain, but he's just not good enough on the pitch, and we are looking like we need to start just moving forward from him, and there will be other leaders in the team. There is other leaders in the team. We've seen it. this season. Even players that are new to the team, really new to the club, like Ethan Ampadu and these sort of players who have taken on that Cooper mantle and are also, let's be honest, better football players. So that is you know, that helps as well. So yeah. But it's just my beef with Cooper is because of his playing ability. It's nothing other than that. I think he's a good bloke, but
he is, and you know, he's stuck around for so long. You know, that loyalty in football just isn't there anymore.
No,
I think as well. Speaking of the former players, even though he's kind of still an our player, we need to give a special mention to Luke Ayling, who was at the Luke Ale Inn for the Millwall game, who left, it was reported, £5,000 behind the Luke Ale Inn bar. So well done, sir. You know, absolute legend, and I just hope we get to give you a proper send off rather than just getting pissed in the Luke Ale Inn pub.
Difficult to say that, isn't it?
And it's very difficult.
I'm glad you said it and not I, because I would have probably butchered that. But it was great to see him back there. I didn't realise this was happening until I seen it on social media. Did Lou see
him? I'm sure Lou saw him.
Lou said he's seen him. Yeah, I don't know. We didn't get any proof of pictures or anything like that from him, but he said he'd seen him because he was at the game, wasn't he, last Sunday? So yeah, fantastic, wasn't it? And the cameras did pan to him a couple of times, I think, on the you know, on the footage, on the coverage of it, and yeah, great to see him there. I'm sure everybody would have had a nice time at courtesy of him. I mean, that's a great offer that for him to do that, but then again, you know, it's you know, the fans have supported him all the way. It's a great he can give that sort of thing back to them. So yeah, and he's doing well at Borough, isn't he, Arron? Apparently, so,
yeah. Listen, you know, it could be this is the thing. Him and Ancient Greenwood could do us some favours in the running, and that's what we're hoping. Along with Mr. Pervader at Sheffield Wednesday, and God knows half the other players wherever they all are. Anyway, I just want to say, John, as well, Bill, Legend, Pablo, him, Coops, Dallas, Alioski, only bring him back for a proper send-off. And I did see your comment earlier. Yes, we will all sit together. We'll have a little leaving party with George in the middle.
Wow, that sounds excellent.
It'll be. We'll get a stand. Well, not a stand because we're not that popular. We'll get a small section of the stand.
Wow, that'd be excellent.
In N8, because that's where I sit.
It's a good view,
and bearing in mind now, well done, Leeds, we've now got safe standing in the upper tier of the Kop. So well done, because I'm not going to have a bad back anymore. So the deep heat chairs are going to be knackered because I won't have to rely on that. But yeah, listen,
that's excellent. No, I didn't realise. I didn't catch that. I should have done that.
The top tier of the Kop is now all safe standing, so I'm looking forward to seeing that on Monday, because that's when it's all back up and running. Season tickets as well, they're up for renewal. Get you renewed. I've renewed mine already. There, I'll be there next year.
Wow,
in the Championship or the Premier League, who knows, but I'm renewed and ready for
that is excellent news. I'm sure they'll be absolutely delighted to have your support again for next season, Arron.
Yes, I think it'll be what is it now? I think it's my 10th year sat in.
Really? That's really, really good.
My 10th year in N8. The many thousands of pounds I've spent on Leeds United. It would be nice to witness them, first of all, be promoted as well, and actually have a proper promotion.
This is the thing, Arron. Like, we get promoted, we're celebrating it like we never before, because we didn't get the opportunity properly to do it before. It'll be a real celebration once we go. I'm
intrigued. The 146 people who are watching this live, get in the comments and tell us, what are you going to do the 4th of May when we get promoted? Because I'm genuinely intrigued, because I will, number one, be at 8:30 at the Beckett's Bank Wetherspoons pub with a belly buster, big breakfast, traditional breakfast, and many pints of alcohol. What will you be doing, George, for the final day of the season to celebrate? And I don't care. I will probably be on the pitch.
Yeah, you'll be on the pitch at the end of the game.
No, I will not be on the pitch. We don't, I'll be
after the game.
I will just clap and go, well done.
I'm sure that's a complete lie. You'll be.
I'll just be congratulating them all, going, well done, everyone.
It sounds like you're in for a real.
See you next year. Whoop, whoop, on and on.
Sounds like you're in for a real bender if it's to be believed that you'll be in there at 8:30 in the morning. I don't know what time the kickoff is. Would it be 2:00?
It's a 12:30 kickoff.
Is it 12:30? So even more. So so there's even more time afterwards to get
exactly. That's why you need to be in the Beckett's Bank Wetherspoons pub for a traditional breakfast.
And that's the one. That's the one at Millennium Square, isn't it?
No. I don't know where it is. I could walk it. I don't know the street. Somebody will probably put it in the comments. But that's where I'll be at 8:30 a.m. Playing the Wetherspoons game. I'll be on the Sambucas at 9.
Wow! let's hope the game has nothing riding on it, because you'd be missing it.
Oh, I know.
You'll be missing it, won't you? So, no. Maybe I'll have a bit of something to celebrate. Maybe, I don't know.
What will you have? What will you have, George? What will be your poison of choice? A little John Smith's or a Tetley's or?
No. I think maybe it'll be a little sip of I don't know, a bit of whiskey or a bit of
famous grouse.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe I'm a tipple, or just a one or two, and then say, hey, what a good time.
And you'll be just clapping at home.
Yeah. Oh, well done.
As will everybody else, all 38,000 people will just be going, well done.
Oh, yeah, well done. What a time. But look, it'll be excellent to get the opportunity, because they'll have a parade and all sorts and this sort of thing. And, whether I'm at the game or not, come that day, which I probably won't be, let's be honest. I might make my way to Leeds just to be in and around the celebrations of it all. That would be hopefully what I would try and do.
The off license next to the Luke Ayling pub will be out of stock. I am sure they need to stock up.
Absolutely,
The Luke Ayling pub needs to stock up. And do you know what? The Leeds United Club shop just needs to get rid of all the shirts and just put a lot of beer in.
That's it. Why not? Why not? People will buy it. But why? Answer me this question, Aaron. I know it's not football related, this, or maybe anybody in the comments want to as well. Why is the immediate thought in a celebration of a football win? Is it the first thought is to let's get as trolleyed as possible, as quickly as possible?
I don't know why. I can tell you the reason why is just because of sheer enjoyment, just to calm you down more than anything. I don't know. I don't really know. But yeah, I think it's just the sheer enjoyment of doing something, winning promotion. I hope I hope we do now.
I mean, look, how far away is May the 4th? It can't be that far away now.
No, about 4, 5, 6 weeks, something like that.
Yeah. And also Star Wars fans will be celebrating that day as well. If you're a Star Wars fan and a Leeds United fan, that will be excellent. Darren's a big Star Wars fan, isn't he?
He is.
He'll enjoy that day, won't he? Because you know what that one is, don't you, Aaron? Of course.
Yeah. May the 4th be with you. Anyway, I just want to touch on a couple of comments of what people will do if we do get promoted. Eric Papa says, Bender. Aaron, you can have a match with Coops and Co for 10 years. Oh, yeah. Me and my son Connor will go on the piss, says Macca McBride. Good. John D, that home game at Southampton will be epic if we are up. Was it the Norwich game when we won the old League One and the civic reception be scenes like that, in my opinion? Yes, it'll be good. I was there for when Leeds got promoted from League One, and that was mental. I've never heard anything like that. And it was good. No, I will not be having a ban. I'll just be clapping from the stands. All by myself, says I come to on in 1919, getting drunk and dancing in the street here in Germany.
Excellent.
And people thinking that there's a lunatic let loose. So there you go. There we go.
Absolutely. Where in Germany are you, Tony?
I'll be waking the neighbours and rubbing it into my friend who is a Burnley fan, says Clive. I may walk around Cardiff in my Leeds top, Germany and Wales on the list here. Tommy says running around Leeds city centre still getting moaned at by the missus.
Yes, that'll be another one of
38
excessive Matthew, isn't it? Yeah, there'll be a lot more
38,000 absolutely hammered plus more. There won't just be 38,000. There'll be 100,000 on the streets of Leeds. It'll be great. We might get a little PA system set up somewhere and we could do a show.
Excellent.
We could do a show live.
Yeah, maybe we could just do a little show. Get everybody on there.
Sure. Yeah, historically, I think, George, it's like champagne for winning.
This makes sense.
Yeah, it's that champagne moment. There'll be thousands of fans outside. Inside gives a song. It was Pat when this. Yeah. So yeah, I think there'll be lots of people going to Ellen Road. It will be just carnage. Just leave your cars at home, guys. Just don't bother going. Just leave. Just get a taxi. Don't even get a taxi.
We'll go on the train. Go
just
on the train
walk.
or whatever. Yeah.
Don't
walk.
just walk. Just walk. It's easier.
Get the bus. The bus is a nightmare.
The bus is but the bus won't be able to move, George, because there were just people everywhere. Yes, it was at the Bristol Rovers game. I was there as well. Climate was amazing. And get some slippy stuff on the lampposts because there'll be people on the lampposts. It's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it'll be quite something, I'm sure. But
let's get there first, George. Let's get that magic P. That's all.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest, Arron. It'll be a good job on that day that the police station is right across the road from Ellen Road, I'm sure.
Do you know what? Do you know what they need to do? Quite simple. Just open up a bar. Open up a bar. Just
why not?
Just sell beer and everything will be good. Sell beer. Don't arrest anybody. Just sell it. Sell beer. Think of the Christmas parties you can have. Think of all the vol-au-vents you can buy rather than giving me a bloody speeding ticket. Just think of all the money you can make, West Yorkshire Police. Tag them in it. Don't open up. Just sell beer, and everybody will be happy.
That's it. The advice from Arron. That's it.
Just open up the doors and just sell beer.
Wow,
for the many hundreds, there'll be hundreds of thousands of men and women and kids. Sell it do what you want. Do what you want.
But by the way,
we need a big celebration.
Nor I or LS11 condone what Arron is saying. He's alone in his views.
It's just my own personal view. I do not. My views. These are my views and nobody else's, and I'm sure people in the comments would agree with me. But there you go. Anyway.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes. So, George, quick prediction. Then get in the comments as well. What are your predictions? We'll do 2 predictions, George. The Watford and Hull game. People in the comments, get them in. The Watford prediction and the Hull prediction over the Easter weekend. George, what are you going for?
Well, you know, I'm going to go 10-0, Arron, because Lou's not here. and he told me I cannot say
Lou's already
10-0.
booked his train. He's already in the Luke Ayling pub. He's booked. I think he's got an Airbnb above it.
Yeah, well, why not?
He's there for the week. He's there for the week.
He'll be there, won't he, on the 4th of May, no doubt. But yeah, no. I mean, seriously, I'm going for probably about 4-0. 4-0 for Watford. Yeah, for Watford. Okay. I'd say Hull one will be a bit more difficult because they are a decent side, although we are at home. I'm going to go 2-1 for the whole game to Leeds. I think we'll win both. I think come Tuesday morning, we'll be 6 points better off. Who knows whether we'll be in the top 2 because it's so tight. But yeah, I think we'll have 6 more points. I think we'll be on 88. All the 8s.
All the 8s, 88. George thinks we'll be on 88. Brill. Yeah. Okay, let's go through some comments. Clive says 3-0 Leeds and 2-0 Leeds. Eric 3-0 Watford, 1-0 Hull, 4-0, 2-0, 3-0 against Watford, 2-1 against Hull, 2-1 Leeds, says Colin, 2-1 against Hull, and 3-0. Fingers crossed, 2-1 Leeds. Lots of Leeds wins for there. I think Leeds will win 5-0 against Watford. And I think against Hull, I think it will be trickier, but I'm going to go for a 3-0 win because we don't concede goals.
Well, that's what Richard has said. But yeah, you're right. I mean, we don't, and it particularly is a home game. Obviously, a home match, Ellen Road. Yeah, I mean, it's very, very difficult for teams to come to Ellen Road. We are very, very close to becoming unbeaten at Ellen Road all season. I think we've got what, 4 games left, have we, at Ellen Road this season? Maybe.
Yeah.
I think there's 4 games to go, isn't there? So,
yeah,
look, we're very, very close to becoming unbeaten. The games that come for us now, the 2 in between Hull and Southampton are easy as you want, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
Really, when you think about the positions those teams are in. And, yeah, hopefully we can go unbeaten. But the main thing is, the bottom line is, hopefully we go on to secure the promotion. So,
yeah. Well, George, it's been a pleasure to regroup after some time off, but we will be back next week reviewing all of the football which has happened. Thank you to the 150 odd live viewers and all the many, many comments which have come in. We do read them all. But yes, let's just leave on these words of wonders. Dear God, seeing as though it's Easter, please let us not lose these 2 games. I couldn't handle the meltdown from the Leeds fans. Dear God, please, Jesus, wherever you are.
Is that a prayer? That's an Easter prayer, is it?
Easter prayer. It is the holy weekend of Easter.
Wow.
Please. Dear God.
Wow. He's praying to God to give us some Easter
joy.
We don't want any eggs. We don't want eggs. We want 6 points, don't we, Aaron? We
6
can
points.
do without eggs. We can go and have 6 points for good measure.
Yeah. Have a lovely Easter, guys. We will be back next week, hopefully discussing how Leeds have got 6 points, and hopefully our prayers will come true. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you on the next one, everyone.